The parking lot behind one of Ottawa's trucking schools is packed with rows of trucks, parked in perfectly parallel lines. These trucks are waiting to hit the open road, but they may get rusty waiting. Canada is on the way to experiencing its worst driver shortage in history.
We definitely need more drivers. There's no doubt about that.
Gary Piquet has been a trucker for 35 years, but the industry he loves is changing.
Some people out there that say that 50% of people with an AZ license aren't even driving a truck. And it's because they got out there and it wasn't what they thought it would be, and they leave.
By 2020, the Conference Board of Canada estimates that there will be a supply gap of more than 25,000 drivers. Already, almost a quarter of trucking firms can't find enough drivers. This director knows that an aging population, low wages, and hard years on the road are turning recruits away.
But it's the long-haul companies that aren't retaining their drivers. That's why they're having a crisis. All the guys who have good experience and good skills, they work out there for a little bit. They get frustrated by the rates and the poor pay and getting paid by the mile. So they go, well, you know what? There's a construction job I get paid $30 an hour for, and I'm home every night.
These days, most drivers are around 44 years old. Surprisingly, truckers stay behind the wheel until they are around 70 years old. Most enter the industry after 2 or 3 careers, and they come from all walks of life.
I was working for a while, like 6-7 years, driving 5-ton trucks, garbage trucks, school buses. But it's a lot like on and off, on and off.
At one point I had a mechanic in the truck, a doctor from another country that's not recognized here.
The pay looks good, but the hours on the road can seem endless. But when the economy slows down, more people try their hand at trucking.
And I had good jobs, I had good opportunities, but I just got tired of being laid off all the time, the seasonal work. So I decided to, switch careers and doing something that's going to keep me busy all the time.
The jobs are there, so why not go to where the job is? And instead of taking a chance on something that was your career that may fall apart shortly.
Considering the importance of the industry to the economy, the Conference Board report recommends policy changes to recognize trucking as a skilled trade, increasing wages and professionalizing the career. But some industry experts say the trucking schools have to play a part.
The fundamental problem, which I believe is a failure of the truck driver training industry, to do a proper job of giving the right introduction from this first state. I mean, we're the people who start them off in their career, is at the driving industry. And if there's not enough people starting their career, it's not the trucking companies that are failing, it's the truck driver schools that are failing.
In Ottawa, Crossroads Training Academy is just one of the many trucking schools that has seen enrollment jump in the last few years.
Absolutely. I think within the last 3 years we've seen a steady rise in people. So when things are getting bad out there, we're usually busier and busier.
The 6 to 12-week training courses, including classroom work and time in a big wheeler, teaches people how to drive a truck, but also how to find suitable jobs and how to adjust to life inside your truck. Most people, says Gary, don't do their research before jumping behind the steering wheel.
You are going to sleep in the truck. You are going to live in the truck to some degree. Your family life is totally different.
There is a special problem for many immigrants to Canada for whom trucking is a fallback career. The problem is compounded in the case of cross-border driving, especially since 9/11, and increased concerns about international terrorism.
Time in 35 hours in a 70-hour period. Stuck at the border, big question.
Annie Bergeron Oliver, iPolitics.